Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Griggs coming to you on the 26th of December 2020 with an update report on the bombing in Nashville. It just so happens that there are several things of interest. One, a person of interest has been identified and his house is being searched now. There is a big reward, $315,000 for tips leading to information that leads to the conclusion of this case. There is also a federal no-fly warning over the area of interest there in Nashville, saying the FAA may even use deadly force. Wow. So this is serious. People are taking it serious. And beyond that, there's a huge outage in services of 9/11 and AT&T. And I'm in North Alabama, 2-hour drive away from this bombing site. And it's, it's over a day since that bombing took place. And guess what? I still don't have service. You can see this. Emergency calls only, and I'm not even sure that'll work. I can't dial any number with this, and it's supposed to have an option to use Wi-Fi for the internet search from my house, and I turned that on, and that don't even work. Really? I got Wi-Fi here. I'm using it with my other computers. It comes up just fine. Even this thing runs on the Wi-Fi, but I don't know. Crazy stuff. All right, so let's get all into this. But, I keep warning you guys about these things that can happen, about all these events. It's part of my eyes wide open, head on a swivel news, because gosh, guys, look where we're living. 2020 is what a burger year it's been. I hope Christmas would bring better times, but holy smoke, it's failed to satisfy us in that direction. We have so much strife coming from within, without our country, and even from the outside, pushing strife on the inside. We don't know what's coming. What caused this? What else is going to be the next shoe to drop? So I highly encourage you to get ready. I show you videos of how to eat from the weeds and trees and get it for free, but there's things that you need to have yourself, because you need the calories and you need the protein. So my friends, hey, great deal here. $100 off. 2 of these makes a 1 month supply of food. You get 2 of these, $100 off with prepwithgreg.com. And this is a freeze-dried food, so it's lasts 25 years or longer, and it's very portable. This is lightweight. You can take them out, put them in your pouch, take them with you, and or your backpack, hiking, bugging out. And the containers are useful. Go to prepwithgreg.com to get more stuff. There's a My Patriot Supply logo there. Click on that logo and go through that, and that'll help me too on my channel. It'll help you, because you'll be better prepared to survive the things that are coming at us. Because even though you may eat from weeds and trees, you're still going to need a little bit more calories and a little bit more protein than you might get that way. Also, growing your own food, which I encourage, and actually have videos teaching you how to do it. But that isn't instantaneous, and crops can fail. So have the backup. Be ready. Be prepared, as the Boy Scouts used to say. All right. Now, back to this. So the person of interest is a 63-year-old white man named Anthony Quinn Warner. He is a resident of Nashville. And the reason he's a person of interest is because he has an RV which looks exactly like the one used in the bombing. Of course, that don't mean there's not tens of thousands of RVs running around the United States, and maybe multiples even around Nashville, somewhere in that area. It doesn't take that long to drive somewhere. So the interesting thing, though, is they say a person of interest has their home being searched right now, and then in that article they'll actually name him. So it seems pretty apparent they're actually searching his home. And if that RV were there, probably the search would be called off, most likely. You'd think. Of course, then again, everything does not proceed from logic when it comes to the government and investigations. Once they smell something and they're on it. You remember the guy who they accused, the guy who was trying to help him and give him tips about the bombing at the Olympics in Atlanta, and they persecuted that guy, and to the point that, man, he died. He was under so much stress. And it turns out Rudolph did it. It wasn't that guy at all. So you can see what prosecutors can do. They'll go after somebody to the nth degree. If they think they got anything to go after somebody on, or just a smidgen of hope, they will just drive somebody in the ground. That's why we have jury trials and certain things in this country, and our rights and liberties are important to us, and often they're abused. Now, all this said, Anthony Quinn Warner, did he do it? Why did he do it if he did it? Well, like I said, Probably the RV is gone. It doesn't seem like they find him. Or maybe they have found him. There were human remains found at the bomb site. Tissue, they said, just tissue. Okay, what about body? I have seen the remains of what you might call an explosion. It took an animal and rendered it into nothing identifiable other than some little splatters and some fur. This was a giant explosion. If the individual had been next to this explosion, that's about all you'd find is some tissue. So did he commit suicide? Was that his remains, somebody else's remains in this event, or was it something totally different? Maybe somebody cut their finger off and threw it in the garbage can. Yeah, I don't know. We don't know yet. There's more that we don't know, but there's a lot of hints. So we'll go into that. We're also going to talk about what the timing and the message. And I'm going to show you a video from this, okay? We're going to go off this. So Anthony Quinn Warner, why 6:30? Why 6:30 Christmas morning? Christmas morning, it sounds really insidious. It sounds nasty, and it really aggravates you to think somebody would do an attack on a day like that. But it was a downtown area with shops that wouldn't be open, and the vehicle was playing a warning. Where you're going to hear that, get back, evacuate, kind of warning. We're about to blow up. Seems kind of clear that whoever did this wasn't really out to take out people. Maybe they considered themselves a patriot or had some other ulterior motive not to want to take out people, but they sure didn't mind taking out infrastructure and causing a lot of damage. What did they have in mind? There are rumors going around about this place, the AT&T facility there, and the rumors. I'm not here to substantiate any of this. I'm just saying that the rumors, and these rumors may possibly equate to potential motives, especially if a white guy like Anthony Quinn did this. One was that this FBI center had a connection with the NSA. I had heard it earlier called AT&T. I said FBI, excuse me. I had heard it earlier called an AT&T government facility. Well, AT&T is not government. What do you mean AT&T government? Well, it was postulated that this particular AT&T center was responsible for connecting data to the National Security Agency. So the National Security Agency will see everything going through the networks. So maybe the reason why you can't get cell phone service now is that we're not permitted to have cell phone service unless the NSA's got a direct link into the back door. Is that it? If that's it, then that's a horrible message for what's going down here. That it's a message of how we're actually spied on, and but we already know that they get everything. So, but it's just a requirement they absolutely have it, and you can't have a service without it. I mean, I'm kind of guessing why all of our service so far away is still out and they can't reroute. But so it might have been that would have suggested maybe somebody on the right side of the fence attacking and retribution for what they deem to be an overt control of the government. There's also indications it may be on the other side of the fence, and this being in the form of allegations that this AT&T center was going to be the receiving site for these voting machines, and part of the challenge to the outcomes of the presidential election. So the Dominion machines were allegedly going there, and so according to that side, this bombing was to prevent that, to slow that down, to stop it until after certain people were sworn in. So you've heard it, accusation on the left, accusation on the right, and all probability neither one are right. Something totally different maybe. It could be one of those. What is the motivation? Why would somebody like that do it? Or did he even do it? Like I said, there was allegations that some Muslim group was going to nuke Nashville last summer. But that was made by some Christian group, and most people were suspecting them more than anybody else. Was this guy tied to that? Did it have anything to do with any of that? Of course, we don't know that it's even him. He could be out in that RV in the mountain somewhere having a good time, not even knowing that people are tearing his house up. He could be up somewhere in a national park. It's holidays, vacationing, maybe down in Florida, kicking up the sun and the beaches as much as he can get down in Key West or somewhere. And somebody might be telling him a day or two, hey, you know, they're ransacking your house. And what's he going to do then? Just lay low? Get mad? Why are you not tearing my house? I'm down here. My van, my RV's here. I don't know. Then again, it could be him. It really could be him. But what we do know is 3 people were injured badly in this accident. And we know that the police were champions. They were heroes for going around, rushing into the accident and going around knocking on doors and evacuating people. Of course, you know, this thing kept saying it was 15 minutes explosion time. If it said that all the way through and didn't give you a countdown, then there's no real mention for knowing when you might get blasted. So you evacuate people out the doors. You're at risk at that time. All right, let's do some shares. Let's go in here and look at some of this stuff, because you may think, Greg, you're crazy. Nobody in the FAA would possibly, I got to open this up. Nobody in the FAA would possibly authorize a deadly force like you suggested. I'm gonna stop this share thing here because I'm not seeing my thing yet. Hang on, I got to do it again. Give me just a sec. So now just share. There we go. Bing. There we are. Yeah, this is the van that actually exploded in the early hours of the morning going through Nashville, and this is the van that belongs to Mr. Warner. So they think that this is why they think maybe it's him. If you look at it, you say, oh, this AC unit's displaced over to one side here. Well, it is here too, or vice versa. There's something in the front, something in the front, something in the back, something in the back. But that could be just a standard way of installing all these things in this model. So there's nothing on this that from this picture indicates that this absolutely is the van. There's nothing to do it, but it's highly suspicious, and this is a person of interest. And there's a $315,000 reward right now for tips leading into the arrest and capture of this person, or the person that really did it, or who did it, those kind of things. So here we are. Look at this. FAA, government may use deadly force against aircraft over Tennessee. Guys, I did not make this up. So I just want to bring this to you to show you I did not make it up. And let's go to the explosion itself. Well, hang on. There's the reward right there. It's national businesses and celebrities, because, you know, it's a country music center. So a lot of the country music celebrities probably kicked in. $315,000. It's over 500 tips already come in. So people are taking it seriously. Get this kind of money out there. You know, there are people who are going to rat if they know anything that has a chance of leading to someone that may be associated with it. So let's talk about this explosion. Let's analyze it here a little bit. Let's blow this picture up here. I probably will have to start playing it. That's the downside of these kind of things. Here we go. You hear that voice playing? That is the recording. Listen again to this recording. This is kind of a female roboticized voice. It's definitely not Mr. Warner. But he may have been playing. He may have had to set up to play. Listen to it. Evacuate. If you're hearing this, evacuate now. Must be evacuated. This area must be evacuated now. When this explosion occurs, you're going to see this huge white light. All right, I think maybe he did change the message. Maybe it did say 15 minutes earlier as it goes into it. I'm not hearing the 15-minute part of this now. I think I did hear some earlier versions of this. So let's proceed to listen to this. So what you just saw was a very white explosion. You know, you might think that's just the dust and things, but the actual explosion was very white. It's captured by other cameras too, bright white. So much so that some of the cameras had their sensor array washed out, kind of damaged by the light. It was that intense. I don't think this camera, I don't see the van right in this view. I think this is just a camera close by when all this went down and happened. So let me make this smaller and stop the share. Oh, hang on. Yeah, we'll stop the share. So Mr. Quinn is reported to be kind of a long hair, gray hair, 63, 5'5". His neighbor said he was a quiet man, very quiet man. In fact, the neighbor that lived right next door to him didn't even know his name for 25 years. Kept to himself. It's the quiet guys that you got to worry about. The ones that like real pressure cookers. Then when it be boom, you know, it just builds up and explodes. You know, loud guys, you know, who are always, hey, yeah. Don't worry about them. They always blow their steam off. I ought to know. Everybody worries about the loud guys. No. Loud guys aren't the ones that are going to get you. So what we have to do here is just bide your time. We're going to learn a lot more real fast. They're going through this guy's house right now. I expect this evening there'll be more newscasts on this, more announcements, more press conferences, and more data will come rolling out. We'll start getting a better picture. The big questions is this guy still out there? Is it somebody else? Will there be more bombings? Is he associated with a group? Or is it something completely different? You know, the fact that it looked like it was set up not to hurt people don't mean that somebody went down a road decide to do that. It might be a control game showing, well, see, we can do this and we can do it this way, or we can do it this way. It may be a control game. Those kind of things have been played by bombers in the past, you know, just showing that they're more powerful and smarter than the cops. So a lot of these bombers and serial killers like to play games with law enforcement. So it could be something like that. It could be terrorism. It could be domestic terrorism. It could be international. We don't know. We just don't know what it is. We have a suspect that may have been involved in it, a person of interest. That does not mean he did it. We don't know anything about Mr. Quinn as of yet. We don't know what kind of person he is. He may be just fine. We just don't know. But it is getting interesting. More things are coming out. I just want you to be aware. Keep your eyes open, the head on a swivel, because all kind of things are coming at us. This may just be the beginning. Even if he's just a one-off, the kind of pressures, the kind of tensions that led somebody to do this are existent all over our society, creeping around everywhere. Our country is just seething with tension. We are a powder keg, just waiting for things to go off. And one little thing might precipitate another thing, might precipitate another thing. The fact that this individual, whoever they were thinking to do what they did, may be indicative that there's a lot of people out there thinking of similar things. And what can happen? Our infrastructure has been attacked. I've done tons of videos promoting defense of our power grid. I ran 2 conferences on power grid defense. That's my podium placard. So I take this serious. We're trying to get our country secure, our world secure, and I should stand with me to help us on that. Also, I got to redo my power grid website. And we're setting up a website for the Freedom Restoration Foundation. I can't communicate with anybody right now about it. My phone is out. But if you're interested in joining our survival tribe groups, email me at info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. If you're interested in joining the Freedom Restoration Foundation, we do have a Facebook site, as long as they let us keep it, which may not be long, but email us in order to make sure you get the continuity of being in touch with us. Email us at info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. What did I say earlier about the tribe? The address is info@freedomrestorationfoundation.org. If you want to be in the survival tribe in the subject line, if you want to be in our Freedom Restoration Foundation, put freedom in the subject line. Freedom free, either one works. So stay tuned. This could have been a lot worse. Worse things can happen and may happen. Just stay tuned. Pray for the best, hope for the worst. Oh, pray for the best, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Excuse me. All right, my friends. With all that said, all I'm going to say now is buckle up and thank you for watching.